Jammy time.
The nightly ritual begins. It's 8 o'clock. An 11-month-old Callum Hullett is going to bed. His dad, Alan, gets him ready.
It'll be folded up.
Good night, Dee Dee.
Good night to Mommy.
Good night, Dee Dee.
Put Mommy with that.
I can put him to bed.
Yeah, oh, you snoopy's in. Yeah.
But the Hullets haven't had a good night in 11 months
Good night, Daddy. Good night.
because baby Callum doesn't sleep.
Try and sleep tonight.
Okay.
Not too much.
Come on. Let's go. Let's get you in here. Oh, I know you're not going to settle down.
The Hullets allowed Frontline to put a remote camera in Callum's bedroom to monitor him as his parents try to find out why the night holds such dread for their baby.
He's been doing this ever since he was born. He's never, ever slept through the night. He doesn't know the meaning of the word sleep.
In this house, dreams are replaced by Callum's screams. This night, Alan has already been in twice. He's in again at 3:06. At 5:05. At 5:45. It is now 6:29, and in less than an hour, he has to go to work at the local museum.
Oh, you're so warm.
In the past few weeks, anyway, I seem to be up more frequently than Catherine. Getting in, but I think Catherine's reached the point where she's so tired that she sleeps through a lot of his noise making, which I'm not doing.
Sleepless nights often follow days when Callum refuses to nap. Out of this cacophony come some pretty desperate thoughts.
I kind of reached a point where I said, I can't go in there anymore because he's making me very angry.
These families found that their pediatricians could offer no solutions. So their quest for help led them here, Toronto's Hinks Institute, a children's mental health center researching these sorts of problems. Today, the Hullets, including Callum's brother, 4-year-old Tristan, are meeting with psychotherapist Liz Muir for a family assessment.
Daddy, would you help me build this track?
Well, I have to talk to her.
Why does Tristan sleep while Callum screams through the night? The very first session delivers some clues. It starts with Catherine describing her first pregnancy.
Tristan was like the pregnancy from, I mean, it was so beautiful. I walked right through that pregnancy. I ate pasta and ice cream. I had a great time. I had a cesarean birth, and it was wonderful. And it was fun. Well, then I got pregnant when I was expecting. Yes. And I wasn't. I spent the first 3 months throwing up. I did it with him. You did with
Catherine and Callum began their relationship in a difficult pregnancy that brought a painful delivery. A troubling start for Catherine's second son.
I can remember the very first thing I said to Callum, the very first second I saw him. I said, "You little bugger, you put me through hell."
11 months later, she feels distanced from her son.
He never cuddles. You almost feel, it's like, here, I'm giving you so much, buddy, and you never give me anything back but a scream.
Right. It's a very hard feeling.
There are also plenty of clues in Callum's play, though in his first few visits, his preoccupation seems to be falling over. He flails about the room, unable to focus on any one toy. This is among the first observations Liz Muir puts in the Hullett file. The first connection is drawn between his play and his problem.
How much does his lack of relaxation in the play and maybe in bed at night have to do with the lack of relaxation in the relationship?
In the brief moments when he did focus, however, there was a glimpse of something.
Fairly early on in the piece, there was just a fleeting moment he has back to the camera and to his mother, and he picked up the little baby's bottle, and he put it in his mouth, and he kind of looked as if he felt he shouldn't be doing this, and put it down again immediately. And I thought it was just the whole way that he did this, I felt it really was very important. And I thought the thought crossed my mind, there's something here to do with an expression of a particular kind of infantile need or a baby need, something to do with nurturance and around bottles and being fed and things like that. And then he seemed to ignore it, and then I thought, well, maybe I was just imagining it. And then a little bit later he came back to it, and he wanted to feed himself, he wanted to feed his mother, and he was feeding the doll. So I started to elaborate that a little. And right at the very end of the session, Catherine said something really very important. It's something that's concerning her, and it relates to a lot of the other things she was discussing in the session, which had to do with her feelings about having to attend to babies, not one.
Sometimes I kind of feel bad, like I nursed Tristan until he was 9 months old, and I only nursed him till 4 months because I couldn't keep Tristan's schedule of all of Tristan's events and things that he does, and nurse at the same time, because he'd want to nurse and I'd be behind the wheel of a car taking Tristan somewhere.
Extras are wrapped. Thank you very much for your patience. Tristan, thank you.
4-year-old Tristan is a child actor. On this set, he has been playing the role any mother might wish for her son, the world's most perfect child, Christopher Robin. 1 week into her therapy, Catherine realizes that she had also cast Callum in the same role as his brother.
I started to think that I don't know if I've ever let Callum be Callum. I think Callum was born to be Tristan.
Callum's play provides another clue for Liz Muir. He ignores the tame animals among the toys and goes to the wild ones with sharp teeth. It has been another bad day for Callum and Catherine, and the tension has spilled into the night.
Stop. This is bad. You're a bad baby.
Just stop, for Christ's sake. Go to sleep.
Callum's father is worried.
I could feel that the relationship between the two of them was deteriorating, and I was really concerned about where it was going to go. Catherine and I had words about it. I knew she was getting near the end of her patience.
I mean, in fact, we had such a bad day yesterday. I know this sounds so horrible, but I left my kids in the house and I got in my car and I thought I was going to leave. Oh, it was so horrible because when I came in, Tristan's sitting on the floor crying, going, "Where did you go, Mommy?" And it made me feel even worse. And then that makes me mad at him because Tristan had to suffer because I just sort of reached explosion point.
But in the discussion, Catherine remembers that for a couple of days after their last play session, Callum was easier to get along with. She starts to wonder.
I'm just sort of making some connections here. Also, the 2 days that were really wonderful, he was playing really differently. Like, he was playing very independently.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
And as she brings Callum to the Hinks in the next 2 weeks, Catherine begins to understand the lexicon of her 11-month-old. This is how she gained that understanding.
Bag.
She notices that Callum is enjoying a beanbag. He whines a little, and Catherine assumes he needs a diaper change. That's not what he's trying to say. It will be a few weeks yet for his mother to get the message. Next week he goes to the beanbag, and he gives his mother a look. She
This is, I'm cuddling. And looking at me almost like, are you jealous?
She thinks he's being smart. 3 weeks later, she understands.
He just loved to crawl up on bed and cuddle up with you and just fall into the bed. It's very similar, you know. Oh, I never thought that before.
kind of a sort of struggle to see, but it might have been an invitation for you to them as you...
Yeah.
Come back here.
It has taken just 4 hours of therapy for Catherine to realize what her son really wants is her affections.
He's become very cuddly, and he's become very communicating a lot. He's really making an effort to get his thoughts or his needs across to you without screaming. Come on, pick Mommy's finger.
Callum, too, has a fingerhold on a new sense of security by week 4 of the play sessions. For Catherine, this simple touch is a powerful event.
All I have to do is give him my finger, and he's perfectly happy. I can walk through a mall with him holding on to my finger, and he won't wander off. He'll just hang on to my finger.
I think that something has clicked between Cam and I that has never clicked before. I feel like we finally bonded for the first time in his whole life. It's really amazing because I didn't think we were going to end. I could just see myself butting heads with this kid till he was 20.
Little teeth, but short step. Here's my handle, here's my spout.
At the Hollett home, Catherine is now enjoying her days with Callum.
Over and pour me out.
And out of better days comes the first sign that the night can also be better and can sound better.
The last 2 nights he has slept through the night. Kathy said she realised that she had to forgive Callum for the days before he was during the day. And something had to happen before they deal with the wake.
Forgetting once it hurt him. How to go destroy his
He just sort of smiled, but he would wake up.
Callum's play has also changed dramatically.
I think if we looked at a tape from the very beginning and a tape now, we would notice quite a vast difference in the activity level of his play. He's concentrating, he's actually focusing on tasks and exploring the toys for pockets of time.
These are the skills Callum will eventually take to school. There is a connection between secure attachment and academic success, according to psychologist Alan Sroufe.
Math achievement at age 16 is predicted by security of your early relationships. But I think the linkage is indirect. We don't find that secure attachment leads to higher intelligence. And in fact, that makes it interesting that it does predict better achievement, because it's not because it makes kids more intelligent. I think it helps children be more confident in themselves and be more resourceful.
In just 8 weeks, this relationship has been turned around. But is it possible that Callum just passed through a developmental phase?
I think it's entirely possible, but I don't know that our relationship would have been salvaged. You know, maybe eventually he would have, but if I hadn't been able to start dealing with all the feelings that I had and how it was affecting us and how it was affecting my relationship with Tristan, I don't know if it would have went as well as it did. I mean, he might have, you know, he might have hit 15 months and it would have ended. But would there have been so much damage done with all the anger and the frustration and that?
Because we are talking only 8 weeks. Can you change a mother-child relationship, feelings in 8 weeks?
I think you can.
Well, I think we did.
Yeah. I know this just sounds so morbid and awful, but I really didn't like him. And I know it's just like, Children's Aid's gonna come and take my baby. But I really didn't like him. And now I just adore him.
Is there anything else you want to mention before we part company?
We finally got our baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.